So today I'm going to be going through the preparation of vegetables, okay? And for this, it's the development and the practice of knife skills. So what we are going to be using is a carrot and an onion. And for this, we're going to be practicing different techniques, so different cuts that you can do. And for your exam, you want to be demonstrating a range of techniques and to show that your accuracy of preparing vegetables is of a high standard. Okay, so I'm going to start with the carrot. Okay, I cut off the bottom of it because it wasn't very good, so just remember to cut off the top of it. Okay, so we are going to be looking at the bridge hold, the claw hold, or the claw grip. We're going to be doing slicing, dicing, cutting the carrots into batons, julienne, okay, and then this is going to be used, the carrot and the onion are going to be used on the next day when you're making your tomato sauce, okay, your reduction sauce. So you're going to be frying these up with if you have a low calorie spray, or if you don't, just the tiniest bit of oil, because remember you want to reduce the amount of added fat that you add to your dish. Okay, so this is going to be added to your sauce when you do it. Okay, so I have not peeled the carrot. Okay, I haven't peeled the skin off the carrot because you actually don't have to. If you wash it, then that's fine. Okay, and don't forget to wash your hands beforehand. Okay, so you don't actually have to, but if you did, you could say in your exam and in your time plan and your justification of your choice of dish, you could say that the peeling you're going to use to make a stock, which you are then going to use for if it's maybe to make a gravy or to add in to make a soup, or you could use the peelings and grate it up or blitz it up to put into carrot cake. Okay, so you're using all of the fruit, all of the vegetable there. Okay, so you're using all of the ingredient, which is what you want to be doing when you're looking at your waste not, want not. Okay, so we're going to get started. So I'm going to cut it in half first of all, because it will be easier to handle. Now, you need to make sure that you have it stable. So I'm going to use the bridge hold and I'm going to cut down the middle. Okay, make sure you're watching where you're going. Now, as much down the middle as possible. Clearly, that is not very well done, but you get the concept, okay? I'm sure you'll be able to do a better job at it than me. Okay, so what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to do for this one, batons. Now, if you're in a restaurant, if you're working in a restaurant, you tend to have to even it off. Okay, so you cut off the sides. Now, because you'll be doing your waste not, want not, we don't want to get rid of any of these, okay? So you would use this part, all right? You would use this part in your dish somehow, or else you would just do batons for some of it, and then you might cut these into dices, or you might dice them to use, okay? But don't just get rid of them, okay? I will use these, okay? I will dice them up. Okay, so you need to hold again with the bridge hold, and you're cutting down until you're getting a nice flat surface. Okay, so I'm going to cut a bit more off. Make sure you're being careful of your knife. Okay, so let's have a look. Now, okay, so that may seem like a bit of a waste, but like I said, we'll use it. So your batons, they're your kind of matchsticks a lot of people kind of phrase them or refer to them as being matchstick size. So having the claw grip, or you can use bridge as well if you want, but I find it easier to use the claw grip. Okay, you're going to cut down about matchstick size. Okay, now julienne is smaller than that, okay? So you want to make sure that you don't cut it down too small, because your julienne is going to be smaller again, okay? So, got that last one now. Okay, so they're like this, and that's quite a chunky baton, okay, but that's fine. This one's probably a bit too chunky. I don't know if you can see it. This one's a bit too chunky, so what I would do is, again, bridge hold, I would cut it in half. Okay, so you have it like this. Okay, so it is not too thick, but also it's not too thin. It's kind of like it's like thin chip style. Okay, so it's like you're making thin chips. I'm going to cut this one in half as well. Sometimes you need to follow if the way that the carrot is going. Okay, so those are my batons. So I'm going to move them over there. Then for your julienne, I'm going to show you using this bit that's left over. Okay, so you simply, if you hold on to it, it's probably easier actually with this half, okay? So for your julienne, again, you need to get it straight, okay? So you don't want any curves for your julienne, okay? So for your batons or your julienne, you want it nicely squared off. So your julienne is really thin slices. Okay, so you're going really thinly, and they should all be as even as possible. Okay, so I'll show you the difference in a second between baton. If you get to that, then you can always move to the bridge. Okay, it's easier that way. Okay, so you have the julienne. See that really thin? I'm trying to watch the camera to see if you can actually see. Okay, so that's really thin, as opposed to your baton that's much thicker. Okay, so you have julienne, baton. Okay, I'm going to move these over, and I'm going to take the other half of my carrot. Now I'm going to again use the bridge hole, cut it in half. I'm hoping that I might actually get it a bit more half this time. Bit better, maybe. You can let me know. Okay, so for this one, what we're going to do is we are going to slice this one first of all. Okay, so it's just simply slicing it down. Okay, use your claw grip. Okay, when you're cooking them, you don't really want them very chunky. Okay, especially if you're making stuff for children and because children tend not to like vegetables a huge amount, and they need to have things that are quite easy to eat. And carrots are easy to eat, but they are also contain quite a bit of fiber, so that if they're smaller, it will be easier to digest by in their bodies. Okay, so simple slices. Now, when you put this into your sauce on Friday, it's going to be all diced up. Okay, feel free to leave them in those slices if you want, but the rest of it you're going to dice. Okay, but what I want to see, I've kind of pushed these all over to the side, okay, but what I want to see is pictures of them all, of the different cuts, okay? So your batons, your julienne, it's not julienne, and your slices, and then you have your diced carrot. Okay, so for your diced carrot, bridge hold. Okay, you're going to cut it down thicker than your julienne. Okay, you want it to be a bit thicker probably than your baton. Okay, so it is nice and thick because you want to dice it into cubes. Okay, so your claw grip, and you're cutting it down. Oh, okay, right. Took me a while there to get into the rhythm of things, but there you go. Okay, make sure that it's cut. Okay, so you have there your diced. Okay, so your diced carrots, and that is absolutely fine. Okay, you might have it shaped a bit like that, but that's fine. And then you have other bits that are more diced. Okay, so that's your carrot. So I want to see your batons, which are kind of small or thin chip size. Then your julienne, which is really thin strips. And remember that if you were working in a restaurant, you would tend to cut off, you tend to cut it down so that it was just straight edges and not round. Okay, I want to see your sliced carrots. Okay, and I want to see your diced carrots. Now, what I am going to do with these later, is I'm going to dice these as well. Okay, but I'm going to show you now with the onion. And for the onion, we're going to slice and dice it. Okay, and then in your sauce on Friday, you can either dice the rest of it, or you can keep it sliced and half it sliced and half it diced. It doesn't really matter. Okay, that is up to you. So bridge hold again. So you have the shoot and the root. You always cut down from the shoot to the root, because the root helps to keep the onion intact. Okay, it helps to keep it together for when you are dicing your onion. Okay, so it helps to do it more easily. Okay, so my hand feels like it's shaking now. All right, so we're going down the middle. I always start in the middle. Okay, I don't start down here because you can grip it easier. Okay, so start in the middle and pull it down, and then you can always turn it, take off some of the skin, turn it and cut it down again. Okay, so see, my half for the onion is much better than my halves for the carrots. Okay, so my voice might be going a bit closer, a bit louder, and then a bit softer, because I'm constantly going and looking to make sure that you can actually see what I am doing. Okay, so for the slices, first of all, for the slices, you cut off the root and you cut off the shoot as well. Okay, and then we need to take off the skin. I find the faster you work with onions, the less it affects your eyes. Okay, some onions are just stronger than others, and the part in the middle, that just kind of fell off, but the part in the middle, apparently, don't quote me on it though, is the part that makes your eyes water. I don't know why it is, but it does make your eye, but apparently it is the part that makes your eyes water. And I know that there are many methods that people try to use to stop themselves from crying, but I always find that just the faster you do it, the sooner it's over, so then your eyes won't get as sore. Okay, so for this, I'm just simply slicing down. Okay, so you want to get it quite thin slices. When you cook onions, they'll go down anyway. Okay, I'm going to move to the bridge hole now because I can feel the onion starting to break down on me. Okay, so there you have slices. When you get to the end, you kind of have this big chunk. So what I would just do is I would just slice that as well. Okay, I might do a bit thinner. Okay, so you have there your slices, and you can kind of break them up. If that one breaks up there, you can kind of break them up. Okay, so it's not too thin, but it's not too thick. And when you cook it, it will release the flavor more. Okay, so there are my sliced onions. I want to see that as well. Or I'll just slice this bit up as well. Okay, always being careful of your fingers. Okay, this knife is good because it's sharp, but it's not too sharp. So I feel like I will be okay with it, especially for this demonstration. Okay, so now I'm doing the diced. But when I'm doing the diced, I want to keep the root on. So I'm just going to cut off the shoot. Don't cut too much of it off, okay? Because you don't want to waste onion. You don't want to waste any food. Just move my carrots. Okay, so remember, you need to be adding vegetables to your dish and to all of your options of your dish, fruit or vegetables. So if you're doing a dessert, maybe see if you can have ones that have fruit or veg in it. I know some of you have put down carrot cake muffins. Okay, so there you have your carrots in as well. Okay, you have your vitamin A. Alright, so you're trying to get as much nutrients, especially of your vitamins and minerals as possible. So you're doing different colour. Remember, your different colour fruit and vegetables gives you different vitamins and minerals. Alright, so I have my onion here ready, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once I have all of it off, if you hold onto it with the claw grip again, and you're cutting halfway through the onion. Okay, so you cut halfway through the onion, then you do the bridge hold, and you make some cuts on going down. Okay, and then you go back to the claw hold. The skin is everywhere. Go back to the claw hold, and you simply dice down. Okay, so you've done a slit down in the center. Then you've done lines, you've done cuts, not just lines, cuts down. You'll see the lines on the onions, so try to do a few of them, try to go over a few of them. And then your claw hold, or claw grip, to then dice them down. Okay, as you get to the end, it starts to go a bit out because it's losing its shape. But this is kind of this is a small enough onion that it can keep its shape quite well, actually. I'm just going to cut the last few bits there. Okay, so this is my diced onion then. Okay, you can see it all kind of would break apart into quite small pieces. So that's really good. Well, I say it's really good. For me, it's really good. Okay, so you have the dicing of onions there. Okay, so there we have it. So I've shown you dicing, slicing, slicing again, dicing again, batons, and julienne. Okay, and remember, if you're using these baton or julienne, if you're using these cuts, make sure that you are going to use the rest of it for something else. Okay, remember, you can use the skin if you wash your carrot, and you can use the skin in making something to put it into something else, or you can use the skin to make a stock, or you can just put the skin in, cut it up as normal, like I did when I diced and sliced the carrot. I didn't peel off the skin at all. Okay, so that is your preparation of your knife skills of your vegetables. So it's developing and practicing and developing your accuracy with regards knife skills and knife safety. Okay, good luck with this, and I want to see pictures at the end of the lesson showing me your ability with the vegetables.